5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello, good evening, and welcome.
And welcome. Haven't heard that for a long time.
No, that's why I said it. I can't do a David Frost, but that's as good as you're going to get. Well, at least it's not as sticky now. We've had some more rain, and it's.
We could do with getting rid of the clouds and having a bit of sunshine for a couple more days because we've had nothing but cloud. Monday was an absolute bloody nightmare because it tipped it down. I went to the local flower shop to get some pre-planned purchases and arrived there to find all the plants were bloody destroyed. Fella says, he says, yeah, if you deadhead all the plants, they should come back. And I'm thinking, hang on, you want me to spend X amount of money, do that, and it should come back? No, I'm not spending money.
Good evening, Terry.
Evening, Terry.
Yeah, it's not been too bad this week. You know, we're not having to go out at the crack of dawn.
That'll please his lordship.
It has. We've gone back to his normal time because him in his routines. Round about 10:30, he knows and he sort of gets his thing. Good evening, Richard.
Good evening, Richard. Good afternoon, Mick.
Yeah, he sort of and he goes out there and he's not looking at me gone out. So anyway, it's been a funny old week.
It has.
Yeah, lots going on in the music world, of course. But the more important thing is what's been going on the channel, I think.
Oh, hello. 6 already, crikey.
And so 9,136 views in the last 7 days. There's been a lot of sport on. And lots of late nights. Courtesy of England's lady team. And a few grey hairs, but it's all worth it. It's all
2, 4, 2.
So it's 20 new subscribers. That's pretty cool. So what have you been watching? Well, at number 3 with 80 views is last Sunday's Oasis Top 10 I did with Richard and Simon, 80 people. And Simon gets another mention for number 2 because Simon, if you know, he sent me some VCLT and 105 people watched the video, and I've only listened to 3 of that stack. There is loads. But the most popular video this week has been the Creedence Clearwater Revival Retro Ranking 117. And the top short was last Saturday's Needle Drop Saturday.
Oh, and what did you drop the needle on?
T-Has, ZZ Top.
Ah.
And amazingly, and I never fix these. I really don't. So I don't know until I drop it. And it was on LW, which is one of my favourite songs.
Who?
So that doesn't happen very often.
Who? What track?
LW.
You mean El Diablo?
That's even that one, yeah.
Yeah, well.
Yes. So I'm pleased I didn't think, because some people poo sort of the early ZZ Top.
No, I think they were cracking.
Yeah, that's a great album T has. So 28 days views. We are up to 41,921 views. 65 new subscribers in the last 28 days. That's getting to the figure these days. That's not bad. 60 odd subs a month.
No, can't complain.
So what have you been watching? Well, the Slade tier ranking is still being watched. 228. And coming up at 229 is the UK top 10 I did on July 1980. I mean, today we did the same,
That's right. It's a fortnight different.
but in America, and boy, what a different chart. I mean, one of my subscribers, Jean, she put a lovely comment about it. The dreadful music in America.
Oh, yes. Gene Sheridan. Yes.
Yes, this is good coming from America that's ashamed of what was in the charts. But top is Bad Elton John. And that brings me to someone that.
No, be nice. He had his opinion. You had yours. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah, 280. Yes. Top short is David Bowie's Outside LP1. So people prefer tracks on the first. Well, I have to split it up because I can't get the whole album. So part one. So now this is the figures we get blown back by is how the whole figures 848,508.
That's an awful lot of people calling in and saying, "Oh, let's have a look at this."
Yes.
Wow.
I know that's in nearly 4 and a bit years, but that's still a lot of people.
It doesn't matter. You're talking, 200,000 views a year, and we're not at the end of the fourth.
No, this is it. And we've now got 2,962 subscribers.
And don't you all regret it?
Yeah. So,
no, thank you very much for subscribing, everybody.
Yes, it is. It's lovely to see people engage. So let's have a look at the top 5 of all time. Good evening, Zeb.
Evening, Zeb.
Well, can we say happy birthday for tomorrow?
Yes. Let's say happy. Yes. We'll do that at the end.
Yes.
We'll have a round of happy birthday.
So Derek Riggs is at number 5 on 4592.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Oldfield is opening at that lead. He's now 4640.
Yay.
But, I mean, he is closing in on Jethro Tull at 4824.
It'll take a while, but I think he'll get there.
Slade are just, again, a load. It's gone up again, 5,625. But status quo are now at 11,560. You're averaging about 40 people still watching that video a week.
They're either masochists or sadists.
Yes,
you will sit and watch this video, or please, can I watch it again?
The trouble is, that was my very first video. It's cringeworthy.
I know. That's why I'm saying it's sadists and masochists. But anyway, no, it's good. Oh, hello. What are we? What said? New live Zeppelin mini album, LP, CD, and stream. First song is on their official YouTube page. 4 live songs, 2 from 75 and 2 from Debworth 79.
One of them, Stairway to Heaven. Okay, Paul Diano is creeping up. I don't think there'll be a little while before that has it top. It depends what I'm putting out on Monday, which has got nothing to do with someone passing away this week. It was already planned to go out Monday.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I'm not jumping on a bandwagon. It was planned to go out. It's scheduled to go out.
It's been on the schedule for 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, for me shorts, I've got a rough idea what I'm putting out every week in advance. See, what I do with my shorts, if I get 5 minutes, I create a short and put it in a box, and then they just get put out. That's all I do. I don't sit there and frantically put 6 shorts together. I just do it when I can. So, I mean, I've got about 40 shorts that I just go, oh, what one shall we have this week? That's how I do it. So let's dive into what I've been listening to. Now, with my Mythos, I'm now at the meditation. We've left the prog behind us. We're now in meditation mode.
Right.
Yeah. Which is pretty cool.
Oh, Zeb's jumping the gun. It's okay. Go on.
Atomic Rooster, I've done 6 of the 7. And then I'm getting through the Soft Machine, 7 and 11. I've enjoyed listening to Soft Machine again. New Model Army, the 6 of 16. Shoes, of course, bit of Shoes. 6, the Jimi Hendrix posthumous albums, 7 of 13. And 2 more have come out of the bag. One being American rock band Quiet Riot, and the other being the German power metal type band called Rage. So we've got them to start listening to. And I finished for Hang on.
They've been added to the list. They haven't come out of the list. They've been added to the list.
They're on the thing because it's a 23, you see.
Yeah, because that was something I wanted to check with you. I've got 2 entries for Rage.
Yeah, this is the German power metal band. 23.
That's the one with 23.
Yes.
Right, because Terry had already requested the other Rage with 3 albums.
Yeah, that's going to come out as well once one of these long. And I'll finish Fairport Convention. And it's getting dark and dingy.
It's getting near lighten up time.
I haven't ranked Wobbler yet, but they're on the list. I do know that because of the name. I'm glad you don't. You get arrested, Dave.
Yes, Zeb asked for Wobbler quite a while back.
Yeah, they're on the list.
Let's see. How far back is it? Oh, that's quite a... yeah. It is. It's a way back, but yes.
So it's now time for Hatches, Matches and Dispatches, because guess who's hovering around the door?
Dave never leaves the house without his shorts.
Yes. Good man.
Let's see. Richard almost pre-ordered $30. Yes, I would. To be honest, Richard, I don't think $30. No, not for 4 songs. Anyway. Hatches, Matches, and Dispatches. Well, we all know who's gone. But last Thursday, it was announced after we'd started or done the show. Alan Bergman. He was an American pop music composer, songwriter, and he and his wife were a songwriting duo, and they wrote so much music for big films. For example, they wrote Windmills in Your Mind. That's how far back their music writing goes. Anyway, let's continue on. On the 19th, Frank Maffei, I think that's how you pronounce it. He was in Danny and the Juniors, an American doo-wop rock and roll vocal group, and they're best known for their 1957 number 1 hit, At the Hop, and their 58 follow-up hit, Rock and Roll Is Here to Stay. And then we come to the 22nd, and we had 3 people pass. So, first off, let's take them alphabetically. George Koemans, Dutch musician with golden earring, songwriter. He retired from the music business after he was diagnosed with ALS, which in the UK we know it as MND, motor neurone disease, and in the States you know it as Lou Gehrig's disease. So George unfortunately passed. Ozzy, the Prince of Darkness, obviously heavy metal singer with Black Sabbath, and John Palmer, English prog rock multi-instrumentalist. He used to be in Family, Blossom Toes, and Bakerloo. So there's the three who went on the 22nd. And then today, George Vacoso, a Fijian ska and reggae singer, passed. And as Zeb has pointed out, Hulk Hogan, American Hall of Fame professional wrestler, passed this morning from a heart attack. So there we go, 6 plus 1. Birthdays, we've got 10 plus 1. And the plus 1 will be for those who know their British comedy. The youngest is 56. Couldn't find many birthdays before that. But 56 years young today is an American singer, songwriter, actress, dancer, businesswoman. She's regarded as one of the most influential entertainers of her time. And she is Jennifer Lynn Lopez. We know her as J-Lo. 64 today is Paul Geary, American drummer, artist, manager, co-founder and drummer of the rock band Extreme. 68 today, we've got 3 birthdays. Walter David Buchan, better known as a Watty Buchan, Scottish punk rock musician, best known as the lead vocalist for The Exploited. Also 68 is Robbie Gray, English new wave rock singer, songwriter. He was with the band Modern English. And Pamela Yvonne Tillis. She's an American country music singer, songwriter, record producer, and actress. And then I floored in with this one at 74 years young. It's Linval Golding, Jamaican-born British new wave rock and ska guitarist. Do you remember him? He was in The Specials and Fun Boy 3. 76 today is Graham Lear, Canadian rock drummer best known for playing with Gino Vanelli, Santana, and, of course, REO Speedwagon. 79 today, and Iain had heard of this person. He was born with the first name of Rene. Elicits loads of titters from the English or from the Brits. Rene. Oh, Rene. He was a French pop singer who became famous in the 1960s. Now, his first single was Qu'après c'est fini, and it became an international hit in 1965 and rendered him instantly famous. The song at the time sold 3.3 million copies. This is 1965. 3.3 million copies. We know him as Hervé Villard or Villard. 80 years young today is David Miner, sometimes spelt M-I-N-O-R, sometimes M-I-N-E-R. Doesn't matter. American singer, guitarist, songwriter. Probably he's best known as co-founder and member of the 1960s band The Great Society. And then Grandad today, Iain was floored that he's still alive, at 81 years, is Jimmy Armstrong, or Jim Armstrong, or James, to give him his proper name. Guitarist from Northern Ireland. His musical career started while he was still a schoolboy. He played in Belfast's top show band, the Mellotones. They were resident in the city's Romano's ballroom. Anyway, he recorded and played in the mid-1960s with Van Morrison and them, and toured Europe and America, where he lived. He lived in America for a while, playing and recording for 4 years. Of the 51 tracks recorded by Morrison and them, let's see, that would have been 64, 66-ish. Armstrong played on over half, and while he was living and recording in America, he met and played with Jim Morrison and the Doors, Captain Beefheart, Frank Zappa, just to name the start of the list. Anyway, there's our 10. There's a plus 1. And this is where the giggles and the double entendres come in. She was born in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. She is a UK-based comedy actress, producer, presenter, and businesswoman. And she starred alongside I've got to get this right. Cupid, stunt. And other characters, obviously Kenny Everett on the Kenny Everett show, and she, God love her, was every young boy's wet dream. She is Cleo Rockus. So happy birthday to her. The matches, we've got two today. Back in 1972, Andrew Lloyd Webber. He got married for the first time. He married Sarah Hugel. And in 2004, Alex Band, singer with The Calling, he married Cleopatra 2525 actress Jennifer Sky. So there's your hatches, matches, and dispatches. Last week, we had a bit of a boo-boo with the sophomore. We forgot to close the poll before the end of the stream. So Iain has notes, I have alarms to remind us to close the poll before we close the thing. But the last one that we saw, it was 8-all on the live stream. So we're going to take that as the given. In the posts, it was 17-18. Iain picked The Who, and The Who get it by 1 point. 25-26. So
I do believe I'm my backside kick this week.
At the moment, Iain is winning 10-3. Now, the last time I looked, just before we started this on the live stream, it 6 votes. It was 4-2 in favour of Bread, but on the community tab, it was 7-0 to Steely Dan. So we should keep an eye on that through the evening. So there's hatched matches and dispatches and other various bits of bullshittery. Tonight's talking point. I hope you've all had your thinking caps on. Tracks that define the 70s. Tracks that trigger memories of the 70s. What piece of music defines, how do you define a decade with a track? I haven't been able to come up with an answer yet. So I've sort of been going on certain songs that trigger memories for me. And I've got, where are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. Oh, you're back. Okay, let's have a look here. What's been going on? What songs? 4 songs. Crimson fans should do that. All valid considerations. Yeah, hi, Robbie. Dave's right. We need a Them box set. Mistakes were made off of the heads. Yes. Right. What's on next week? There you go. There you go. Full screen. Off you go.
Okay, what do we got next week? Well, Monday. We always start off with the story and what we got. We got to part 5 of Elvis Costello. We're going to look at the 2010s and 20s. I'll put them together because there's not too much going on. Perfect Side. This is a bit of a guilty pleasure for me. It's Bryan Adams is Reckless. I've got fond memories of this album because I had to go and buy it because I was seeing him support somebody, but that's another story. I think you all know what we're talking about. So I'm going to do with that. So Tuesday is Ladies' Day, and it's a very special one because we are dedicating it to the metal ladies of Japan. Who seem to kick some butt.
Yes.
The album ranking is from a band called Love Bites. They are the female version of Halloween. And if we go from right to left, the second one is that little dot called Harura, I think her name is, something like that. She's 4'11", but she plays the drums like Phil and Animal Taylor.
Oh, brilliant.
Yes, they are superb. And then for the retro ranking, we've got a band called Bandmaid. Yes, they dress up as maids, but again, they are absolutely brilliant.
Rocky approves, obviously.
Yeah, it is an appreciation of a little bit of heavy metal from the Far East. I think there's a lot of people that will enjoy the marathon next week. I can think of about 3 or 4 people in my head.
Richard's asking, is this like Japanese Spice Girls or something?
No, they're better than them.
Oh, way better.
Yes. Yes. Madness. I just love that picture. Everyone knows what album cover that is, so I won't say. But yeah, we're doing Madness.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got next Thursday. I do apologise for Rocky. I don't know what he's barking at. He wants something. We've got talking of power metal, we have got a power metal sophomore. We've got Halloween. Keep it to Yes, my career with Madness was very short-lived. And we've got one size fits all Pink Cream 69, and there is a connection between these two bands. And it's Andy Derry. He was the singer when the second album came out on Pink Cream 69, and then he went to Halloween. And next week's Pick and Mix, Painted by Numbers. Again, this was already planned, but it will be a sort of tribute to Dave Cousins. We're going to be looking at the Strawbs album covers. So I think that's quite apt that we're doing something. That's why you haven't seen anything come up of Dave Cousins, because I'd already got this planned long before he sadly died. So I'm looking forward to that one. And there he is on the picture there with Rick Wakeman and the rest of the boys. That takes us through to Friday. We've now got a live album ranking. FM, the AOR band from UK, and I have seen these. They are pretty good. Good evening, Mike.
Evening, Mike.
I can't remember who they supported, but I did see them as a support hand. And we've got a new album. It's been out a few weeks. It's the new album from Wet Leg. And it's Moisturizer. And it's an excellent album. Yes.
Which Dave?
And then Saturday, got a birthday top 10. And it's for Mr. Rob Walker.
Yes.
A legend in his own lunchtime. So, we're doing his birthday.
And we mean that in the nicest possible. It's all done in the best possible taste.
Yes. Yeah. I met him up in Leeds, and we had a bit of a giggle. He's a top man to sit and have a pint with. And then Richard and I will be doing a little thing called the Rock Pole Connection. So basically, in the background, you've got there's a rock pile, and we've done a top 10 of songs that at least 3 of them played on. It could be a Nick Lowe song, it could be a Dave Edmunds song, it could be anything as long as 3 of them are played. 3 on it, so that's what we're doing. So that's what's going on next week.
All right.
Yes, it is. And I can confirm that it's all real. If you weren't listening to this, Rob, because I know you sometimes listen or you watch later, yeah, I can confirm that head of hair is all real. No moving bits. And I mean that in the nicest possible.
No glue.
There's no glue there.
Right. That was good. You took yourself out. Let's click on that. There you go. There. Would you like to remove that from?
I can remove that from the studio. Yeah.
There we go. That gives us room to bring people in. Which is fine. Or was it the best British accent?
No, I think he won it for his hair. I don't know. He won 3. All I do know that.
Richard has listened to Wet Leg. He reckons it's quite good.
Yes, they are very good.
Yeah, and Zeb is getting into George So. Fans of folk, prog, and medieval music, Gentle Giant, Jethro Tull, Steel Ice Band, etc. Beware.
Well, you know, yeah.
We might have to look that one up. I'll go and look that one up just to be on the safe side.
Okay. Yes, you know, Rocky's been quiet for a few weeks, but he's certainly making up for it tonight.
He is.
I think it's because it's not so hot.
Not that.
Nice one, Simon. It does a bit, doesn't it? I'm sure we'll have them on the list. We like a little bit of folky rock. Let's take that off.
I'm not finding them.
Oh dear, that's not good. Sure. Yeah, anyway, I've not got too many gripes this week. It's been a quiet week for me. I've been trying to listen to some really good albums that Simon sent me. I'll show you what I have listened to on the pile.
Simon.
I know, I saw that. Yeah, I've seen what I've listened to so far of what Simon sent me. I've listened to Dave Brubeck, which is an excellent compilation, and it's one of them that doesn't it opens the Zad away because you get the Zad picture. So yes, I've listened to that. Of course, I've listened to that. Supertramp, Crime of the Century. Yeah, you're probably right. And I've listened to this. Derek and Clive. Not the live one. I won't talk about that. Yeah, Supertramp's finest. Bit of Dud and Pete. Bit of Derek and Clive. On the back it says, warning, this record contains language of an explicit nature that may be offensive and should not be played in the presence of minors.
Ooh, right.
So I can't go up to Yorkshire and sit in a and play it to a minor. As Simon's all I'll say this, there's a post-it Simon put on it and said, this bloke came up to me and said, and that's as far as I'm going.
Zeb, I would make that 8 albums. Can you correct me for Yordso?
Yeah, this is their best album. Always will be. Fantastic album.
I don't know. Arguably the best studio album.
Yes, their best studio album.
Yeah, because the best album is Live in Paris.
Yeah. What else? I know people have seen the video, but it's right near the bottom. I know this is going off mine now, but a little bit of Carpenter's. So that'll be my next one. But there's so many there to listen to. Two split albums, or they get on my nerves, I guess, because you can't really rank split albums. Because it's just hard because you got two things. But I've been listening to some reggae this week, live reggae. So there's a live album ranking coming up of a reggae band. I wonder which one it'll be. Well, it's going to rain here. It's getting a little bit black. As we would say, there's a stain in Northampton. It looks a bit black over Bill's mother's.
Yes.
I don't know if there's anywhere else in the country that says that, but when it looks like it's going to rain, someone else says, "Oh, it looks a bit black over Bill's mother's." I'm wondering.
Terry's got a trigger memory for the 70s.
Summer.
Yes.
Yes,
Bobby Goldsborough, yes.
I've got so much I would say.
Oh, Denver's had heavy rain for 3 nights in a row. It's normally snow, isn't it, for you up in Denver?
Except, obviously, I'm Facebook friends with Richard, and he put up on his Facebook page a beautiful picture in the morning. That was a stunning picture, Richard, and I think it was stunning. The sun was a lovely picture. Yeah, we've had some downpours this week. And one time it came on so on, I'd got the window open, and then the rain came in the window. Yes, it did, didn't it? Yes, because he got wet. He was sitting under the window, and he jumped up. And, where's that coming from? Yes, that was quite early. Not quite early. Anyway, yeah, night of the 70s. God, I've got so many music memories of the 70s. It was when I was growing up, especially at school, what we was listening to at school in the 70s, because we'd all, it was the late night we could have in a school week was to stay up to watch Top of the Pops. So, for that, to go to bed later on. What's the worst job I've ever had? When I got made redundant, I just went and got a job because I didn't, and it was working in a pizza place. I lasted 1 day. Let's get my. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, just for talking about my worst ever job. Yeah, I worked in Pizza Land for 1 day.
All right. Well, wait, you just showed Derek and Clive. I thought you were going to mention Winston Churchill, though.
Yeah. Well, I did say this bloke came up to me and said,
"Yeah."
when I opened that, when I put my hand on that, I can't believe it. This is just quality comedy.
It's excellent, isn't it? I can remember when it came out that it was really slated by the sort of, the mainstream media. They hated it. They said, this is pure filth. It's not funny. But he was. It still is. An album I've been listening to a lot this week.
What?
And that's Louis Armstrong.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, album that Simon kindly sent me. Absolutely fabulous. The guy has just got one of those voices, hasn't he?
He's brilliant. I mean, he sent me a jazzy album, as you know, the
Brubeck.
Oh,
yeah,
brilliant. I love it. I've actually played it twice.
Yeah. This is the This is Louis.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I showed it, I said it was a comp. I thought it was a compilation because it's on Music for Pleasure or something. But apparently it's not. Which probably explains why I didn't actually know half the tunes, but it's really, really good. It starts off with What a Wonderful World, and if you don't like that, there's something wrong with you, isn't there?
Yeah, you can't not knock a bit of doon doon doon. We've got to be careful for copywriting, but I love you. Ding ding ding.
Yeah. I went to see Dave Brubeck back in, that must have been the early 80s, down in Eastville at the Congress Theatre. I must say, the guy doesn't have a lot of stage presence. You know, he was there and he was playing all the tunes, and and it was fantastic. But he wasn't really one to sort of like interact with the audience. Put it that way.
Oh dear.
No.
But it was still a great gig. It was Dave Brubeck playing his hits.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, this has just got. I'll tell you what this has actually got on it. Let's find the list. We've got Take 5, which is a classic.
Of course.
Night and Day. I'm in the Dancing Mood. Castilian Drums. Camptown Races, which is brilliant.
All right.
St. Louis Blues. The Unsquare Dance. The two-part connection. The Trolley Song. It's a Raggy Waltz. My favourite things. He does a version of from Sound of Music, whatever it is. Let's Go All the Way. The Duke. Concraco Sensitive. Someday My Prince Will Come. And Blue Ronda a la Turk, which I think is an incredible piece of music.
Me too.
The time signature on that is just
Yeah. That sounds like a great album there.
Yeah, I've played it twice, and then I've played, of course, Crime of the Century Supertramp. That's been blazing out.
Yeah, Crime of the Century. Yeah, that's that's an album that I remember sort of like it used to be used a lot in the 70s for sort of kind of incidental sort of background music for sort of documentaries and whatever.
Yeah, they use Rudy a lot, don't they? The instrumental piece
Yeah.
Rudy gets used.
Yeah.
Even Crime of the Century, that gets used. But,
Yeah.
I mean, it is. This is. I think this is one of them albums from the 70s anyway. That's very iconic. It's.
Oh yeah. It's one of my all-time favorite albums. Certainly from the 1970s. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back, let's go back to 1970, the first year of the decade. What a year for albums!
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's one album in particular that I think we should mention first, shouldn't we? And that's Black Sabbath, isn't it? Paranoid.
Yeah, Black Sabbath and Paranoid. What changed music for a lot of people that album did. The writing of Geezer Butler, the darkness, and Tony Iommi's growling evil riffs.
Yeah.
And of course, Ozzy's real daunting room. Oh, let's make you big for that.
Sorry.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, that is just.
Yeah. Now, this single, and I mean, I'm not a big heavy metal fan, but I bought this at the time, and I think it made top 10, didn't it?
Yes, it was in the top 10, and the other record that was in the top 10 at the same time was Deep Purple's Black Knight.
Yeah. But I think it was a bit of a turning point, wasn't it, in music? The world was introduced to heavy metal.
Yeah, because the other albums that came out in 1970, In Rock, Deep Purple. One of the Led Zeppelin albums came out, and I can't remember, was it 3 or 4 come out? Was it 3?
4 was later. It was 3. Yeah.
3. Uriah Heep brought out their debut, Very Heavy, Very Humble.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great. I like the cover of that.
Yeah,
with the cobwebs.
all over David
Yeah.
Wright. You see, what a start to the year, and that's just the heavy metal. That's the heavy side of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
4 bands that went on. I mean, obviously Led Zeppelin have still going. I mean, Black Sabbath. Well, obviously they're not going to be no more now, as such. But yeah, and Deep Purple, they're still going strong. You know, their legacy carries on. But and then the infancy of people like Mark Bolan was starting to appear. Slade was starting to.
Well, this is it, isn't it? You know, I think, you know, I think if you look at the 70s, there's a lot of genres, you know, that started, and I mean heavy metal. You know, I mean, no one really knew about heavy metal, did they? You know, before then, you know, and then you get Ozzy, you know, and I mean, you know, talking about, I think, you know, there's famous and there's famous, isn't there? And Ozzy was definitely famous. You know, he was somebody that he only needed one name. If you say Ozzy, you know, people knew who you meant. And you know, it wasn't just the music fans, was it? You know, he was. You know, he's properly famous.
Yeah, but the majority of that came from an incident which was blown out of proportion.
Oh, the bat thing.
The bat. Exactly.
Yeah, I know.
It wasn't live. It was a rubber toy. He thought it was something else and bit the head off. Yeah.
I know. It's ridiculous, isn't it? But I think, you know, I mean, you know, I think there's sort of like, you know, there was a lot of sort of manufactured outrage, wasn't there? You know, and you know, how dare he do this? You know, but it's a bit silly, really, because you know, sort of rock and roll is meant to sort of shock the older generation a little bit, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then at the same time, we were also sort of coming out of the Edwardian mentality, you know, of what's right and proper, and this is how you. That was the week that was. Ronnie Barker, Ronnie Corbett, and John Cleese. The 3 ranks of, you know, upper class, middle class, lower class. That was so prevalent back then.
Oh yeah, and, absolutely.
The music scene changed. It changed so fast.
Yeah, and you know the other thing about Black Sabbath is that they were working class lads.
Yes,
you know they were, and they weren't from London. You know, and there was, you know, there's something, you know, you can sort of you know, relate to them more because
they were a local band, as in a way, you know. This is our region. We sing about what goes on in our area, and then you'd get someone, you know, Sheffield. You know, a band would appear from Sheffield, and they sang about stuff that they knew in their area. Yeah. And you had accents and all coming across in music, and it made everything sound so different. It wasn't all Queen's English, and this is how you speak.
Or sort of, you know, or sort of trying to sort of. You know, kind of copy the American bands.
Yes, we were. It's like this. We said last time, the 60s, people started writing their own music.
Yeah.
This time, people were singing their own vocal. You know, their own accents, their own attitudes to life. They were singing about stuff that they knew about, and the songs started getting political as well.
I mean, War Pigs, you can't get.
Yeah.
Because they were, I mean, Black Sabbath wanted to call that album War Pigs.
Yes, I read about that this morning, actually. Yeah, and you know, the people thought, you know, maybe that's just a bit too controversial.
Yeah.
For the time, yes, it was, because we were still coming out of the Lord Chancellor's office could review all stage plays and had to green light the script and whatever. And you had all of a sudden you had hair appeared on stage, nudity on stage in the middle of London. What? No, this can't be. This is disgraceful. Oh my God, the outrage. It's all manufactured.
I mean, that's right, you know, and you know, when we talked about the 60s, I mentioned that because it was Age of Aquarius, you know, was from. It
was. We were coming out of that age, we were opening up, we were expanding our morally and metaphysically, we were expanding our minds.
Yeah.
And it wasn't always down to what you were smoking.
I mean, the Beatles are finished, but I personally, as much as I don't think they were, them quitting when they did was probably a good idea, because I don't think they could have gone to the next level. They went out at the top, and I think that's a very shrewd move for the Beatles. They went out at the top because I don't think they knew they weren't going to compete with the likes of Zeppelin, Purple, and Uriah Heep.
I don't know whether they kind of were thinking in those terms. I mean, I think the main reason they split up is they couldn't bloody stand each other anymore, could they?
Yeah,
you know,
I think it was more.
But you know, it's difficult. I always think it's difficult to sort of kind of evaluate that sort of, you know, what if, because you know, if you look at their solo stuff following the Beatles, you know, most of it, in my opinion, is not great shakes. But then again, you know, if they were still performing together, you know, where the sum is greater than the parts.
Yeah,
you know,
you would have had the
I'm
egos
sure they have more in them. Yeah.
You would have had the egos getting in the way, and no, I don't want to play that. I can't play that. No, I don't want to sing that. No, that's not right for me.
Yeah, and I can't stand your wife. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, of the ones that were really successful, I would say that it's George Harrison and McCartney became more successful. Lennon, obviously, it was terminated, not by, you know, by someone else. We don't know where he would have gone in later years.
I think, you know, I mean, I think for me, there was a kind of deterioration in.
Sorry, I've just seen Dave.
Yeah, you better go get a shovel then, Dave.
Sorry.
Yeah, but you know, that you could see this sort of decline in the quality, I think, of you know, the Beatles' work as individuals. You know, over the years, you know, they all had good stuff in them, but you know,
but it didn't gel together.
Yeah, but then again, I mean, I think, you know, I think that's a case of just about any artist. They have a golden period, don't they? And it's usually early on in their career, and you know that they reach a height, you know, and then they're never able to sort of achieve that quite again. You know, that's the way things go, and the world moves on, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, there are some artists, yes, they can prolong their career because they come up with flashes of stuff. I mean, we had one today, a guy put a comment on an Elton John review that Iain did. And how could you put that at this album at that ranking? It's their greatest thing. And history's on my side. History might be on your side, but actually, no, it's not his greatest album. And B, it's Ian's opinion. Doesn't matter what you think. It's what Iain thinks.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking, Dave, more in terms of not that sort of like, you know, a band or an artist sort of can continue their career. And a lot of them do, you know. I mean, McCartney has carried on, you know, and
Yes,
you
but
know,
I don't.
he shows no signs of stop. Elton John, I mean, and he just released a new album. You know, these are on and they sell records, but there's a point where they cease to be like at the cutting edge of music. You know,
yes, they've had their golden period, and yes, I mean Bowie was a past master at reinventing himself and having little flashes of little golden periods all the way through. All the decades, there were little flashes.
Who else? Who else?
Back again. Not many other people could do that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it was the start of the proper prog albums. I mean, so many groups, 1970 prog albums. Gentle Giant released Gentle Giant. Caravan, If I Could Do It All Over Again came out. Robert Wyatt, End of an Ear. Curved Air. These bands, and Emerson, Lake and Palmer, these were all starting to develop their sound as well. So prog was another genre that was starting to go off in. I mean, that's where the Canterbury scene really, I think, kicked in, didn't it, in the 70s?
Yeah. And there's again, you know, there's certain types of music that sort of came out, and kind of music went in all sorts of different directions. Because I can remember when I was at school in the early 1970s, that we kind of differentiated between singles bands and albums bands.
Yes,
and there were very few artists that would produce, you know, that could come out with great singles, but also had of albums that we felt, you know, worth listening to. I mean, again, Bowie was the point, you know, that Bowie had great singles, he had great albums. But you know, you can't imagine sort of like, you know, Led Zeppelin sort of ruling the singles charts, could you?
True.
You know, or Yes. You know, I mean, they all had their sort of, you know, one or two singles, and you know, so there was that kind of thing, and you know, there were the glam bands, weren't they? You know, as well. You know,
this is it, and I think the glam bands, the glam era that came out was more singles than album.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And then you had. Let's see, power. How would you describe them? Power pop, the likes of Slade, who, yes, they could do singles, but they could also do albums.
Yeah, although I would argue that sort of Slade were primarily it was the singles, wasn't it? They were, you know, they ruled the singles charts for a couple of years. They were the absolute kings of the singles charts.
Yeah, I mean, we did that tier ranking. We discovered they had a run of 50 top 10 singles.
Yeah, exactly.
Including six number ones.
Yeah. It was like 71, late 71 through 73, wasn't it? Really,
they were always in the charts.
Yeah.
I mean, Sweet were T-Rex were they. I think they were the three bands that consistently were putting out quality singles. In that period. Wizard came along, and I'm gonna mention it, but Gary Glitter again, he had a huge hits singles during that period. You can't deny that he was part of that culture.
Despite what else happened, yes, you have to acknowledge that. Yes.
But at the time, you know, we didn't know. And
exactly.
We bought his records. But again, although, Slade produced some absolutely brilliant albums, haven't they, over the years? But I think I bought Slade when it came out. But the others, I kind of passed on them for a little while. Because it was the singles, and when you don't have a lot of money, when you're a sort of, a teenager relying on your paper round, I was buying the singles.
What's all this then?
Hello.
Hello.
I'll be
So-
with you in a second. Sorry, I've got to do something else. Go on.
Yeah, we took about the 70s, and I mean, America was about 5 years behind us.
Oh, whatever.
Just tried to wind you up, Michael.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know some of people got glam, but you never got glam rock, did you?
We had the New York Dolls. Who else do we have that was American glam? We had the Dictator. Well, no, we did not have real glam. That's true.
No.
Yeah, I mean, the New York Dolls have got a place in my heart, though. I mean, they're the missing link between glam and punk, I think.
Yes.
Let's
With the
see.
Dictators.
Oh, there he is. Good evening, Michael. Sorry,
Good
I'm
evening.
back.
Then again, you did have Grand Funk Railroad, which were never successful over here, but they were a cracking three-piece band.
They were a phenomena.
Ian, make note.
Oh,
Tier ranking police singles.
that'll be interesting.
Yes. We'll make a note of that one. I'll put that on.
Yes,
my notes.
Alice. Richard points out that Alice Cooper. They wore dresses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think they were
I
nearest
think-
to glam.
Yeah.
When they Alice Cooper, the band, I think they were very glammy in their sound.
And it was the makeup as well. That they kind of fitted in, and the Schools Out was a revelation, wasn't it?
Oh God, yeah.
It was absolutely brilliant. And then you get Hello Hooray, you get Elected. Teenage Lament 74 is the other one, isn't it?
They're classics, aren't they?
Yeah, and they're absolutely brilliant. And I'm sure before Schools Out, I had no idea who Alice Cooper was.
No. I mean, the
His
first one we
first
got was Susie Quattro. She was not as big in America as she was over here.
Oh,
Yeah.
she was huge in the UK.
Three number ones? And then
Three-
number
Three,
two?
yeah, 3 number ones and a drooling army of middle-aged fathers and young sons, all sitting in front of the TV on top of the pops because she was on.
I know. It was a leather catsuit, wasn't it?
It was.
Definitely
It
was.
was. But I made a note of some songs that triggered that. I won't say trigger memories, although they do. But there were sort of standouts for me because the 70s, the start of the 70s, our family was in Cyprus because of Dad's work, and I was at school. And I'd mentioned this before. We listened to British Forces Broadcasting Service, BFBS. So you were sort of restricted. You were a week behind the UK. We were always sort of playing catch up. TV was black and white. And back in 1970, I heard on the radio Matthew's Southern Comfort singing Woodstock. And wow, I like this. I like this. This is good. Ooh. You had visions of this thing, and then you heard about Woodstock, and right, it became even more relevant. This huge festival that had gone on. Okay, so go forward a couple of years, we come to 72, and we were leaving Cyprus. We were coming back to the UK, and Dad drove us down to the dock. The car got put on a barge and then onto the ship. We were taken out. On we went. We toured around the Med, a few stops, and we ended up in Venice. Car was taken off, and we started driving. Italy, Austria, Germany, the Netherlands, and then across to the UK, and then across to Northern Ireland. While we were driving, the Olympics were on. So before we left Cyprus, the big hit was the New Seekers. I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony.
Right.
Lovely song, stolen by Coke many years later. But whenever we got home, we went round to my aunt and uncle for our first meal back in the UK. Great. And oh my goodness, they got colour TV. Never seen colour TV. Wow. Sat down watching the Olympics. I said, this is great. I said, what's the latest thing in the charts? What's the latest music? I said, oh, well, you can come round and you can watch Top of the Pops if you like. Oh, can I? Right, okay, thank you. I was round the next day. Who's on Top of the Pops? Slade. Mama, we're all crazy now.
And in colour. And in colour.
And in colour. I was just blown away, all these outfits. And I mean, at the time, Noddy was in, I don't know how many bloody shades he had on that suit. But it was mad. It was absolute madness. It was like psychedelic. And okay, let's move forward. Yes, I started getting into music and hearing stuff on the radio. It was good. Still at school, but then finished my O levels, started my A levels, but also applied to join a bank, and I got accepted. And I go in the first day of work. Guess what happened? ABBA won the Eurovision Song Contest with Waterloo. So there's another standout, because the whole family was sat in front of the TV watching the Eurovision Song Contest.
Yeah, there was some rubbish in the 70s as well, wasn't there?
There was.
Yeah, but even even some of the rubbish is sort of iconic, isn't it?
Yes,
It was.
And it's if you think does this sum up the decade, or does it sum up a year or a particular time? It's stuff. And a lot of the, we mentioned the glam bands, but bands like sort of Shawaddy Waddy and Mud weren't exactly the most sophisticated musicians in the world.
No, but how many times did you turn up at the disco and learned to do the mud dance? Exactly.
And it doesn't have to be. This is the best music of the 70s. It's it kind of brings back memories, doesn't it?
Yeah. And then we are in the move.
Yeah.
Then
but I'll tell you, I'll finish off the 70s with 1979, the year I joined the Foreign Office. Art Garfunkel and Bright Eyes. There I was joining the Foreign Office. I'm starting a whole new career, civil service, and I was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Art Garfunkel's Bright Eyes. How much of a contrast can you get?
I know. I was listening to completely different music from that in 1979 days.
I know, but it was something that triggered.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
that was I think it was number 2 whenever I joined the Foreign Office.
Yeah,
and it was everywhere whenever it came out.
Anyway, last time I saw Wizard.
Yeah. Wizard. Brilliant.
Roy Wood and his makeup.
Yeah, and it wasn't See My Baby Jive. I think it was the ballpark incident. And all them people on stage, Top of the Pops, never mind. There were so many people, 2 drummers, saxophone players, all in bright coloured clothing and makeup, and oh my God, what's going on? And then when See My Baby Jive come out.
Yeah. But ballpark incident, that was, I brought that up. It was brilliant. Now, I think I'm not very good at sort of B-sides and sort of matching them, but I think the B-side of Ballpark Incident was the Carlsberg Special.
Yes.
Piano's demolished.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, and then we had Tony Orlando and Dawn, didn't we?
I know.
Not 3 times on the ceiling. Oh my god!
Oh, Yellow Ribbon. And then we started getting that horrible thing from America called disco.
Yeah.
Well, there was some
I
good
think,
disco.
I think we've got to talk about disco. We've got to talk about the 70s. And I mean, sort of 77 in the UK is known for 2 types of music. It's punk and it's disco.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there was a film that you just couldn't get away from, and it's a film that I actually really love, and it's Saturday Night Fever.
It is. It's brilliant. That opening bit with him walking down the street
With a pot of paint.
Yeah, and walking in time with the Staying Alive. Brilliant.
Yeah. It's quite a dark film, isn't it?
It is. I mean, I love that song though. I love Staying Alive by the Bee Gees. I think that's
me too. Me too. I think I think it's an absolutely brilliant film, and it's a great soundtrack.
It is.
And I was listening to the Sex Pistols.
But there was some good.
But this is, I mean, we had a clash. We had a clash we had 2 clashes in music. You had the Who were fighting the Mods and Rockers battle, and yet in the 70s, here we are, disco v punk. Who was going to win? It was a marvelous decade to hear music.
Yeah. But really, I didn't know that. Oh yeah, they should have kept that name.
Yeah, they should have done. Yeah, I mean, there was so much going on. I mean, and then you got the folk. That's when Steel Eye Span started. They have a called All Around My Hat in '75.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I mean, Steel Eye Span. But there's a whole thing. I mean, you can talk about Fairport Convention and on Half Bricking, was it A Sailor's Life?
Yeah.
Probably the first proper sort of folk rock song. But I don't know. Do you think that folk rock really kind of made much of an impression on people in general?
I think they were one hit wondery. It's a bit like Renaissance. I mean, they had a big following, but in '78, Northern Lights just was a huge hit.
Mm-hmm. It was.
But then bands like Curved Air that sort of went under the radar the whole of their career.
Yeah. I used to really love Sonia Christina.
Yeah.
I don't think Curved Air had a good concert presence or good response to their concert performances. I think that's probably the reasons why they got sidelined.
Yeah.
That's it.
That'll happen, right?
Yeah.
Studio great, concert is not so great.
You see, people forget that that's where Stuart Copeland started. He was the drummer of Curved Air.
Right.
And it took me 30 years to discover Curved Air.
Really? Oh. Yeah.
I missed them at the time.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was a single, Backstreet Love, and that was
But that's the one that got me. I heard it on the radio. What is that? I've got to go and find that. And I discovered Curved Air. Wow.
Very psychedelic, I think. It's picture.
Oh,
so I did a little research.
Oh.
Very much like Mastermind Dave.
Uh-oh.
I consulted the digital oracle known to many has ChatGPT, and I asked a few questions,
I've never used it, so I don't know.
and I asked about. I wanted to make it a little bit more personal, so I asked about Leeds artists. That's where you live, Mike, who
Is that
defined
right? Okay.
parts of the 1970s. Because my question was, which Leeds artist defined the 70s? So they had to pare it down for me. I'll make it quick. Gang of Four, Soft Cell, Bill Nelson, Bebop Deluxe, the Mekons. They're honorable, and that's the bands. They're honorable mentions and social influencers. Uh, was the scene from Leeds University and venues like the F Club, bands like Scritti Politti and Delta 5.
Yep.
It was a key tour stop, and not Leeds, but the performances were key moments. The Who live at Leeds. So, in summary, the Leeds scene wasn't defined by huge pop stars, but it was a breeding ground for influential underground movements, particularly post-punk, etc.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's a good synopsis, huh?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, the post-punk. It's I mean, commonly known as the Leeds Art School thing.
Right.
Yeah, but I think the people of Sheffield might be a bit annoyed if Leeds was to claim Bebop Deluxe and Bill Nelson.
What's enough of the world?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Michael mentioned the name there, and I haven't heard in ages. Scritti Politti.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So Green Gartside. Yeah. Yeah. Again, I mean, the thing about these sort of Leeds sort of artists that very few of them were actually born in Leeds.
Hmm.
They all ended up at either at Leeds University doing a fine art degree or at Leeds Art School. Yeah, exactly. A little bit wrong, but yeah, I mean, Scritti Politti. What was it? The Sweetest Girl is probably the most famous track, isn't it?
So right, I'm going to do a co-pilot and see what Northampton comes up with.
Oh, that should be fun.
But, yeah, this should be interesting.
Yeah, let's say where.
Let's see. Would Bees Pray Like Aretha Franklin, Absolute, and The Word Girl.
Right.
And they had one US top 20 hit with Perfect Way.
Yeah, what have you got?
This is what came up for Northampton, right? Bauhaus, formed in 1978. Slow Tie, a British rap band. Pete Murphy, Beyond Bauhaus. V.V. Brown. And one I forgot, one of the greatest composers, Malcolm Arnold. And there's a school named after him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sir Malcolm Arnold.
Right.
Yeah. Who else? Alan Walker. Associated with Norway.
Mm-hmm.
From a band called Fame. Billy Lockett, an indie star. And Jackie Dankworth, who's the jazz vocalist, daughter of Cleo Lane and John Dankworth.
Mm.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. And Terry's got a good memory. 1971, Queen's Hotel, Westcliff. He saw Focus. They were also the last band he saw live in 2005.
Again, that's another thing where suddenly you get a single and you just think it's so different from anything you've heard before. And it was Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
And then Sylvia came out, didn't it? And they're both in the charts at the same time.
Yeah, and Sylvia was the one that rocked my boat. I thought that was the greatest piece of music I'd heard ever at that time. It was outstanding.
Yeah.
And then of course you got again from Holland, Golden Earring.
Oh yeah, Radar Love. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sadly, George Koumans has died, but you know what a record that was. It
Yeah.
just
So when was that? It was about 72 again, was it?
that's something like that.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it was.
Yeah.
And we can't mention the 70s without My Beloved Status Quo, can we?
No.
73 for Radar Love.
All right.
But, you know, Status Quo, very successful in the singles, but 3 albums on the track straight in at number 1. Hello, On the Level, and Blue for You, straight in at number 1.
Right. Yeah. 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 Talking about albums, that we haven't mentioned before that I think define the 70s. It was rumoured that there was a record pressing plant in Germany that only ever produced this record because it was so much demand, and that, of course, is Dark Side of the Moon.
Yes.
Oh, I've remembered one that came out in the 70s, out of Europe. Ça plaint pour moi, Plastic Bertrand.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Absolutely, it was brilliant.
Though, it wasn't him. The actor.
This is it.
Yeah.
It came out later that it wasn't him, but my God, he had a hell of a ride with that.
The lyrics are complete nonsense as well.
Yes. Yeah, it's like what was that one? It came out about.
There's something about his cat, isn't there, in there in the lyrics?
Yeah, but then there was something that came out. It's Italian sounding. About 5 or 10 years ago. It's you'll hear it on the TV if you see one of these adverts. It sounds like he's singing something in Italian. It's a load of gobbledygook nonsense, and there's 2 or 3 songs have popped up in the charts. And what the hell's he singing? It's absolute rubbish, gobbledygook. There's no real words in it at all. Oh, I don't know. You might have seen an advert for a beer where you get 3 foxes sitting in a motorboat going across a lake. And it's an advert for some Swiss or Belgian beer or something. And you've got this guy singing in the background, all this gobbledygook.
Ah. Yeah.
Good afternoon, Romuald.
Yeah, hi, Romy.
Oh, yes. And Terry's reminded Leonard Skinnerd.
Yeah, Terry's coming up with them tonight, isn't he? Because I can remember that performance on Whistle Test. Yeah.
You mentioned this before. It's the first time I saw Dr. Feelgood was on doing Rock Set.
Oh, with Wilco doing that jerky sort of backwards and forwards sort of dancing, wasn't he?
Absolutely.
And that in itself is a whole topic of discussion, which we've done a bit before, the old grey whistle test.
Yeah, exactly.
That opened British eyes to the fact that there's more to music than A, B, C, D. There's X, Y, and Z as well. And X, Y, and Z, whenever you heard them, you went, oh, wow.
Yeah.
What comes in between D and X? I want to go and listen. It made you go and look to find new stuff.
But it was music outside the singles charts, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, which you didn't really get on telly.
No. And the other sort of genre that sort of started in the 70s and really come prominent, especially in the mid-70s, it was reggae, especially in the UK.
Yeah.
Bob Marley all of a sudden became this big in Jamaica, come to England, a few legendary performances, you know, at the rock, at the Rainbow and places like that, and all of a sudden he became this iconic cultural figure. And live at the Rainbows, that's the Bob Marley and the Wailers at their peak, and that they had such a following. And from that we go, it's two-tone and ska, which I'm hoping Nick will come up because he can talk more about that, because that's
Yeah. But I mean, punks were sort of like greatly influenced by reggae as well. They kind of, the music, reggae and punk sort of went together in a sort of weird sort of way. And yeah. When I was
Like Bad Brains.
Terry's popped another one.
Queen.
Yeah.
I love
and Mott.
Yeah. Mott the Hoople are a sort of I think they're a real strange one, because whenever Americans and Canadians show Mott the Hoople, it's the earlier stuff. It's the more sort of bluesy rock stuff. Whereas when people in the UK show Mott the Hoople, it's the glam. Yeah, which is strange, because I mean, look, they could be two completely different bands, couldn't they?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they almost broke up.
Yeah. So Mr. Bowie says, "Oh, here's a song I've written. Have a go with that."
Yeah. There's sort of Mott the Hoople song called Saturday Gigs, and it's about that. They were a struggling band, and the best line, I think, is when they go, and then we went to Croydon, and that was that was the up thing. And if you've ever been to Croydon,
But what happened for them at Croydon?
I'm not really sure. I
think they had a break. They had a breakout. There was a breakout.
Yeah. But I mean, all the young dudes sort of like really did it for them. But
I've heard recordings of Mott the Hoople before the glam days when they were touring the U.S. and Iain would just get into verbal abuse fights with members of the audience. Just telling them they should go back they should sit there and knit their sweaters. Because they were just sitting there dead and weren't getting up off their seats. I mean, it was really rude to them.
Yeah, I think this. You remember when Free broke up? Think, well, what's going to happen now? Simon and Paul had a chat with Mick, who had left Mott the Hoople, and along come Bad Company. You know, and in some respects, I think Bad Company were a little bit better than Free.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I don't know very much about either of those bands. I mean, All Right Now is about as far as they go with Free. Yeah,
they were commercially successful.
Yeah.
And when you consult these, when you go and do research, I think it all comes down to album sales and song sales. When you go and you query databases as the most successful, it's not, you don't get answers based on taste or culture. You get answers based on album sales.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Which kind of masks sort of like what was really going on culturally, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you think we've had this discussion before about a band will release an album and it sells, triple platinum. It's not their best album, but the true fans go, this album's better, and it's probably one of the more under the radar.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I mean, I think any. Oh, you're still not well, mate. Oh, it's a shame. Yeah. Oh well.
Well, I hope you feel better soon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lots of Lemsip.
Lots of them sit.
Yeah. But,
Yes,
but
we have to talk about Scar and Two Tone without him. Just chip in, Nick. We need your guidance a bit. Because I think, although Scar and Two Tone have been around a long time in their roots, it never really hit the UK till what?
Yeah.
I
I think, Ian, maybe we can have a really good discussion when we talk about the 80s, because I think particularly ska in the UK sort of like came into its own in the early 80s, and then hopefully get Nick up and we won't make fools of ourselves.
It started in the late 70s, didn't it? I mean, one of the first, apart from Bob Marley, I think the first one was Shabba Rankin, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Rankin, sorry.
But there was sort of there was a sort of British, British reggae bands, sort of like, came through on the back of sort of like the success of, people like particularly sort of Bob Marley.
I mean, our bands were, they were sort of, before they went all poppy, their roots are in, influenced by Bob Marley, and they sort of termed the British reggae, didn't they? They were the forefathers of the British reggae scene.
That band, I think particularly about Steel Pulse.
Yeah.
So, for a while they were very big, weren't they? Yeah, was that Silver Machine, Terry?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bands that, that sort of, when they went on Top of the Pops, we all went.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember the first time I saw Roxy Music on Top of the Pops as a 5-year-old.
Oh, God. What, doing Virginia Plain, were they? Or was it Pyjamarama?
I think I was what's going on here?
Yeah. yeah. I know. There was sort of, Eno was sort of like, in a world of his own creation, and, yeah. But yeah, again, they were sort of like a band, and they would sort of like, they'd be the subject of conversation on the bus to school the next day. Did you see Top of the Pops last night? Did you see Roxy Music? Or did you see Hawkwind? And that was always a thing on a Friday morning after Thursday night's Top of the Pops.
Exactly.
One of the conversations we had was the first time we watched Elvin Stardust do Cuckoo.
Oh, God, that pointy finger.
Yeah, that we talked about that. Did you see that bloke with his going?
Yeah. Because of course he didn't sing that one, did he?
No, he didn't. That was the thing.
It was a guy who wrote it. It was called Pete Shelley, but not the one out of Buzzcocks.
No, not the Pete.
Yeah.
So he was kind of a rockabilly guy, Alvin Stardust.
He reinvented himself. It's a fascinating story. There was a 60s band called Early 60s, Shane Fenton and the Fentones.
Mm-hmm.
And Alvin Stardust, the guy wasn't in the band, but his best friend was Shane Fenton.
Mm.
And they'd been pestering the sort of radio stations, whatever, sending them tapes and all sorts. And eventually they got they made a bit of a breakthrough. And then, unfortunately, the guy Shane Fenton died. He was only young as a teenager, and he died of some awful disease and
rheumatic fever.
Yeah. And his mum said, "Look, lads, you've got to go on. Sort of like it'll be what he wanted, for you to sort of carry on. So I can't remember. You'll tell us Alvin Stardust's real name, because it wasn't Shane Fenton, but he became.
Jury. It was
Bernard.
Jury.
Bernard William
became-
Jury.
Bernard William Jury.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Shane Fenton wasn't the real name.
No, that's right. But he became Shane Fenton for a while.
No. I mean the original.
Oh, no,
Shane
the original.
Fenton.
No,
He was
that's
Johnny
right.
Theakston.
Yeah. And so that was the first time, he kind of stepped in. And then in the early 70s, Peter Shelley, who'd written My Cuckoo, had got sort of unexpected success, and he needed to be on top of the pops, and he didn't want to be on top of the pops. He thought, he wanted to move in sort of different directions. He wasn't really interested in being Alvin Stardust.
He would have been a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, exactly. So, Shane Fenton, as he was then, sort of steps in and becomes Alvin Stardust.
And we had a number 2 hit.
Yeah. And he continued as Alvin Stardust. But I've got to say that it was, you believed this guy was Alvin Stardust, didn't you? It was perfect, absolutely perfect for that music.
There's some interesting artists, weren't they, in the 70s, like David Essex. Very successful.
Mm. In a way, you could look at Alvin Stardust and say that he was the male version of a female singer in the black leather outfit. He came across almost as a male Susie Quattro without the big backing group.
Yeah.
Because a lot of his stuff was solo. You didn't see the backing group.
Yeah.
And then we had the Bay City Rollers, of course.
Oh, my God.
And then America gave us the blooming Osmonds.
Oh.
Yeah.
All those teeth.
I know. The Osmonds used to be on. Andy Williams had a kind of variety, didn't he, every week? Do you remember?
Sorry, Robert Wells. Yes. Yes, female Susie was.
Yeah, I was not. I mean, I think I sort of appreciate the Bay City Rollers more now than I did as a kid. I mean, my cousin was absolutely bonkers about them, tartan this, tartan that. But the Osmonds, the only thing they ever did decent was Crazy Horse.
Well, that was late on, wasn't it? That was.
Yeah. Oh, that slushy.
I mean, with yours, you thought when things couldn't get any worse, they up the ante, and eventually you get little Jimmy Osmond. Long hair, Liverpool. Oh my God!
No, Nick's come up with a rather good point. 70s was the decade when he really took notice of music, starting with Jerry Anderson TV theme tunes.
Yeah,
all those puppet shows and whatnot. Crikey, yes.
Yeah. It's iconic, wasn't it? I mean, Thunderbirds. It just sort of one of those things, wasn't it? But there was what Joe 90, wasn't there? Yeah. Secret Service.
I used to like the UFO. I love that thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's especially the opening credits.
I love UFO. I still watch it today.
Yeah. It's very much of its day, isn't it? It's a kind of late 60s version of what the future was going to be like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, because we'd had the moon landings and the space race and Sputnik.
Yeah.
I mean, it kicked off with Sputnik and whatnot. And, oh, God, I forget the band name. Telstar.
Yeah.
Greg.
Yeah, very much.
It just went from there. The space race continued, and we got all these lovely, wonderful shows that were fantastic, out of this world.
Yeah.
And the music that went with them was just spot on.
Yeah, and like Nick says, it's the soundtracks. But you know, another thing about UFO was the the female cast members in their sort of highly practical clothing.
Yes, the
The purple wigs that they wore. Yeah. They were on the moon.
Yeah, that was actually supposed to be set in 1980.
I know. Yeah, so it's Gabrielle Drake was in it, wasn't she?
Yes, that was the figure.
Yeah,
the miniskirt. Yes, but we also had the head of Shadow was an American.
Ed Bishop.
Oh,
yes, Ed Bishop. He's guilty of so many other, not too bad programs, but it's the blonde hairdo at the time.
Yeah,
I swore.
You know what? There was one thing. There's one thing that always used to bug me about UFO. Is why the UFOs always chose to fly over the moon when they didn't have to. You know, couldn't they plan their flights when the moon was around the other side of the Earth?
It was crazy, you know, but it was good TV.
Well, yeah, it's good fun, and like Ian says, he still watches it. I still watch it when it's on.
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah, I watch it on ITVX. All the Jerry Anderson is on ITVX.
I usually catch it on
the only reason that I subscribe to it, so I can watch Stingray, Fireball. It's all on there, and I just love watching it. And it's got Randall and Hopkirk on there. I'm happy as
yeah.
So I'm still playing catch up with the comments. So Richard, the 70s, he went from 5 to 15, hugely formative years. I think I found my favorite music was pretty much whatever isn't in the top 40.
Yeah.
But yes, there was so much that didn't make it.
But Richard, did you think that at the time? You know, because I think.
Yeah, Simon's feeling left out.
Oh yeah, I know. You young people.
Yeah, going back to like watching Top of the Pops and Talking Points at school.
Mm-hmm.
The first time we saw Blondie on Top of the Pops, and the first time Debbie Harry.
The whole of the fifth form on my bus to school, that was the only topic. That was the only word we heard all night or all day, going into school and coming out of school. Blondie, Debbie Harry. That was the only thing. Nothing else. No sport, no nothing.
She became, soon as when they got things, there was in all the magazines Looking and all that sort of thing. Posters of her, and up they went on the wall.
Yeah. I was a bit older than that. You know, 1977, I'd left school. I was
likewise. I was at
university.
We still fell in love with her.
And the other person that did it to us was when we first saw Wuthering Heights, Kate Bush.
Yeah. Do you know my lad can't stand Kate Bush? Yeah, he just doesn't get what I see in her.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
And I remember
I know where he's coming from.
Yeah, Anarchy, definitely. That it's one of those songs. It's a punk song that everyone knows, isn't it, Nick?
Yeah, but he's right. There's 3 iconic songs of the 70s.
Yeah,
Come On, Feel the Noise, Anarchy in the UK, and Another Brick in the Wall.
That had a great video, that's it. Another Brick in the Wall.
It was.
That was quite ironic because when that was in the charts, it was at Christmas. We had our end of our Christmas disco, and all the teachers were there, and we found out that the DJ hadn't got Another Brick in the Wall.
Oh,
so there's a phone box in our school, and my mate phoned his dad and went, "Dad, bring the Pink Floyd single. We want to play it. And he went, all right, son.
Wow.
Turned up and we took it up to the. He said, I can't play that. We said, you can. So our favourite teacher, who was our sort of drama teacher, I said, what's up, lads? He won't play that. And he says, give it to me. And we saw him, he went,
Put it on now.
yeah, put it on now. And he said, when we said, what did you tell him? He said, I can't play that. They'll start jeering at the teachers. He says, well, that's what they want to do. This is called music culture.
Yeah.
You just keep it alone. I just give them that it's Christmas. Give them their 5 minutes. And all the teachers stood there. I think it was planned because they all stood in the middle. And we was all round the outside of them.
That's me. Sorry.
Looking at them.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, you couldn't do it now, but then, this was 1979. The whole school was having a dig at the teachers, and they got it.
Yeah.
A few Pink Floyd fans there, I'm sure.
Well, that was good. Actually, that reminds me, I've got quite a personal story. It's about teenage love, and it's about under 18 discos. So, you know how sort of like, you're 14, 15 years old, your hormones are all over the place, and you don't have any common sense, and girls always seem to be more sensible than boys. Anyway, there used to be down in Eastbourne where I lived at the time. There used to be sort of these sort of under 18 discos, and we used to go to them. And so this is talking about the early 70s, and I had a girlfriend at the time, and she was called Jane. And so we went to this disco one night, sort of whole group of us. And I asked the DJ to sort of play a song for her. And I chose this. Right? Goodbye to Jane by Slade. Now, you know where this is going. Now, I'm thinking the lyrics. You see what I mean? She's a queen. And I know she's all right, yeah. But, the DJ says, this is the Jane from Mike, and it is goodbye to Jane. So anyway, me not being sort of very sort of clued up or any of my sort of mates really, next thing that happens is that one of Jane's friends sort of comes up to me and says, you bastard.
Why?
She's in the toilet and she's absolutely in tears.
Oh.
If you were going to break up with her,
oh, I had a feeling.
Why don't you have the decency to tell her to her face? And I go, what? I didn't. My mates would go, what have you done, Mike? What have you done? I said, I don't know. And then it kind of dawned on me, yeah, goodbye to Jane. It's a certain, conveys a certain message, doesn't it? And that was a relationship that didn't last much longer. And to this day, I regret not asking for "Squeeze Me, Please Me."
It's like, that you say about that. The first slow dance I had at a disco was to 10cc's "I'm Not in Love."
All right.
And I still, and I just love, and I love that song to this day. I've always liked that song. And I think it's, or as we say, the moving around the room, having a growth of the bottom song. That's what it was.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah. Shall we talk? Let's talk about some serious. We haven't talked about Genesis, although they weren't big in the 70s. They had their following, didn't they? The long-haired caftan with the album under the arm.
Yeah.
There's a bit on Phil Collins' autobiography, especially in Italy. He said playing in Italy, they'd turn up in their caftan coats with the album clutched under their arms, and then sit in neat rows holding this album, watching us.
Yeah,
I think it was in Nursery Crime. They all sat there with Nursery Crime in their hand. Why? I don't know, but that was.
Why not? Yeah, I mean, Genesis were one of those bands that a friend of mine, his brother, was really into them, and that's how I got into Genesis. So early 70s, I would have only been sort of 14 or 15 years old. I wasn't really aware of Genesis at all until my friend's brother said, you should be listening to this stuff instead of the crap that you're listening to. So yeah, we had a look at, and so I got into Genesis, probably in about 1973, 74. When they're at their height, and yeah, great band. But we all share a love for them, don't we?
Yeah, it's like ELO. I mean, first time I heard ELO was really stuck in my mind was Roll Over Beethoven. I'd heard Chuck Berry, I'd heard the Beatles, and then all of a sudden you got do woo, and that started me on my sort of ELO journey.
Right.
Accumulated, of course, with Out of the Blue.
Yeah.
That was a band that their next album, because Disco was in 78, Discovery was more of a disco-y sounding, but it still sounded good. Last Train to London, Shine a Little Love, Confusion, great tracks. Another band that sort of adapted. I mean, Jeff Lynne, he's just a great songwriter. And then there was the Eagles.
No.
Yeah.
Just because I'm American doesn't mean I like the Eagles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Discuss. Oh dear, I'm getting a bit of a.
Yeah.
You are 19-4. So
yeah,
far.
It's not one of my favourite Steely Dan albums.
I haven't voted on that because I don't know either of those albums.
Right, there's your homework for this week. Go
I don't think so. I told you before, I'm getting on a bit. I don't want to waste the years I've got left listening to Bread and Steely Dan.
I didn't know that the Italians were especially fond of Genesis.
Oh God,
yes,
71. They had more success with Nursery Crime in Italy than they're here in the UK.
Wow, didn't know that.
Yeah, it wasn't until Foxtrot that they started to get more over here, but the Trespass and Nursery Crime were bigger in Italy, which is a shame because I think they're quality albums.
Yeah, but Italy had a kind of thriving sort of prog scene of its own, didn't it? Great Italian prog bands.
Nursery Crime got to number 11 in Italy. In the UK, it only got to number 39.
Oh,
it got to number 13 in Hungary as well.
Oh wow!
And it went gold in France.
Wow!
Oh well, there you go.
How did you in the US?
I'm not seeing figures for the US.
Yeah, had no traction in the US.
No, doing about Italian. It was Naomi introduced me to a band called Maxophone. They only produced the one album, but it's an incredible Italian prog.
Fantastic! I've got that on CD. Yeah,
she said to me, "Listen to the Italian version. There's two versions, but she says, listen to the Italian version. Forget listening to the British version.
Absolutely,
because you won't get it."
Yeah. I mean, they're brilliant. There's some brilliant Italian prog bands like Banco, PFM. Yeah.
Oh, I've just remembered something, Iain. The sophomore program thought that we had last week.
Yeah.
We have 21 entries so far.
So I think we've got enough. Do you?
Actually, is there room for one more?
Oh, there's always room for one more.
Well, so see what you think. The Cure against OMD.
Oh, that's
against organisation.
Right.
Yes, that's a great one.
I tell you what,
Both 1980.
Let's do this. That there. Come on, show me. That there. Right. Share the screen and tell me that again, Mike.
It's The Cure against OMD.
Okay. Boom.
Yeah, what we will do, every one of these that you guys have suggested will be used. It's just when we're going to use them. But don't worry, if it's not a case of you put your thing up, you're not getting it. They're all gonna come out eventually.
Yeah.
There's plenty there to keep us going for a few months. So
there we go. Let's make it
thank you very
psychedelic.
much for your
Stop sharing that.
things. Anyway, I think we've had a super discussion about the 70s.
Yeah.
Before we go, I want to mention a certain person's new video that he put up. The quickest guide round record stores in Japan.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yes, if you
see where you did your fall, though, you've edited that bit out, didn't you?
Yeah,
it was the fastest way to get from floor 9 to floor 2.
the essential guide to Tokyo Record Shop.
I thought it was fantastic. And it reminded me a lot of, especially the Tower Records. That's how ours was in the 80s. It brought back so many memories of our record shops in London back in the day.
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel. Do you remember them days when we had 3-story record shops here in the UK?
Like Virgin Megastore in Oxford Street.
Yeah. I saw lots of albums as you were walking through. I recognised so many good albums. Wow.
Yeah.
Right, I was sort of, I want to go.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, Tower Records. It's literally a tower block, isn't it, of records? And
It's what?
it's like a sort of multi-story tower block of a record store. It just seems overwhelming to me.
Well,
I bet they didn't, Nick.
They didn't.
I'll have to go and have a look. Simon put one up, and we haven't heard. So, what is the challenge, Simon?
It's all right, Beth. I've got my own on when I did me. I did the Oasis. I've told them to go and listen to some Marillion.
Oh.
Anyway, while we wait for Simon, continue on.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good, and I loved how you speeded it up going around each. It was a lovely produced video, sir.
thank you.
It was good. Yeah, it was excellent. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, it was exactly how you described that you
Had to do it, right?
wanted it to be.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, I had enough material.
When you were talking to us about it last week, I thought,
Yeah.
No, it was a super video, and I didn't realise when you put that map up how close all them stores are. How can they compete against each other when they're so close to each other? And
They're not that. You notice that they were not that well populated. There weren't a lot of customers.
no,
A handful, and that was Sunday, which is a big shopping day. So it's just a calmer retail environment here. It's not your Black Friday kind of environment. There's no feeding frenzy. It's just very,
Cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah. And that's just one train station.
There you go, Ian. There's your challenge.
One train station.
amazing, isn't it? Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I'll be up for a challenge. Yeah.
Oh.
If I'm going to make you listen to Marillion, I will have to listen to Blink 182.
Oh, wow.
I'm staying well away from that.
Yeah. No, I just found the first one you went in. Each floor has got it's dedicated to one genre, let alone a section.
Yeah,
Just getting.
yeah. It's absolutely mad, isn't it?
Mm.
And that particular store, it's not that big. That was a very narrow store. But Tower is like 2,000 square feet, 3,000 square feet. I
Mhm.
mean, it's just you look at the view of the floor; it's so vast, and you could rollerblade in Tower Records.
I don't know about that. I don't think I could rollerblade anywhere.
I know I'm going to go to Japan at some stage, and I would want, if I'm going to buy Love Bites albums, I'd want to buy them in Japan. Japanese pressings of their albums, because that's where they're big. I know it sounds silly, but I would come back with a lot of the Japanese metal.
Yeah,
Right.
Because I'm really into it now. I mean, all these great girl bands from Japan doing metal they're all brilliant.
Yeah.
Showing the Europeans.
Yeah.
But then, out of interest, how many of them are, shall we say, Simon Cowell style bands? They're manufactured.
I know Love Bites isn't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Bandmade are either, because I was watching a like a little documentary on Bandmade, because I'm doing some stuff next week, a bit of research, and some of them went to college together.
Yeah. That's a great one. That is really good. That is, yeah. But
yeah, baby metal. Yeah, Simon, you're right. Baby metal. They were manufactured, but Love Bites is not. They came out of an ashes of another band that Aurora and the previous bass player were in, and they just got there. But I'm not the great baby metal fan. Yeah, I guess.
All right, that's been added, Nick.
Yeah, talking about Lena Lovitch, I remember the first time I saw her video of Lucky Number on. Oh, wow, well, this is strange.
Yeah. I saw her live before I knew anything about her. It was on the.
Can you show Simon
the second stick?
Not going to happen, but by God,
I don't think that one would be very close. So
No, I think
I don't think it's going to happen.
No, Yoko Ono.
Yes, Tower Records, Piccadilly Circus.
Yeah.
Live and well in Japan.
Yeah, and the Virgin Megastore in Oxford Street.
Yeah,
they were the two.
Virgin's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, when we used to go down to London every January just to do records, we'd take all our spending, our Christmas money and what we got for Christmas, and we'd save up, and you'd go and have a Chinese in Chinatown at one of the buffets. It was, I think, one of the in them days it was $4.99 and eat as much as you can.
Oh yeah, Mr. Woo's was my favourite.
Yeah, that was it, Mr. Woo's. Just go and have all this Chinese, do the record stores, and come back with.
No, honestly, it was called Mr. Woo's.
I love how they picked the most generic Chinese names to name them.
It was cheap and fair. It was cheap and cheerful. What?
But it filled you up for the day.
Yes. Absolutely brilliant. Well, it's been super. By going back in time, talking about the 70s, a few weeks' time we'll tackle the 80s when Nick's better.
Yes.
So,
are we spinning the wheel?
Berwick Street. Yes.
Are we spinning the wheel tonight?
No, it's next week.
No,
you spin
next
the wheel.
week.
Next week it's going to be. I think it's going to be an open topic because they always go down well.
Yeah. Why
Yeah.
not?
But we'll have 2 or 3 weeks before the 80s.
Yeah, so we want Nick back on fine form for that one.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Simon, because Simon's, I'm not going to say too much, but he's had some personal,
Mhm.
not issues, but there's been some in the family. So
Okay.
So be better. So I'm going to show one of my VCLTs.
Oh, there you go.
Oh well, I'll do the same then. Both from the same place.
Yeah, Simon.
Uh-huh.
Otis Clay.
Oh yeah, you saw that. That's
the right. I'm going to
Not
find
Otis Redding. It's not Otis
yeah.
Redding.
3, 2, 1. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, we'll be all back next week. Hopefully, Nick will be better because we have missed him in the last couple of weeks.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Get
thank
well
you.
soon, Nick.
Thank you very much for everyone in the contribution. And a big shout out tonight for Terry Wilson. He's been on fire tonight.
Mhm.
With all
Yeah.
his
And
You've heard
Nick has reminded us about Carnaby Street.
Oh,
We
yeah.
forgot Carnaby Street the last time.
Yes.
60s
Yeah.
and 70s. So well remembered.
So we'll see you all next week. Have a good week, everybody.
Take care.
Yeah. Bye bye, everyone. Bye bye.